Hello my dear friends of class 11 science. Today we are going to learn about projectile motion. Okay, so first of all let me explain what is this projectile motion. See, any object which is thrown into the air and it remains in the air for some time, then its motion is known as projectile motion. Suppose if you are throwing a stone in the air, okay, for some times it goes in the air, so that is a projectile. Alright, now there are some conditions about this. A flying bird is actually not a projectile. Why it is not a projectile? Because it is not only thrown once, it throws its body when it is flying, but the thing is that when it is flying, it is also using the air thrust to fly. If I remove all the air, will the bird will able to fly? No. So, a bird cannot be considered as a projectile. The condition is you have to give it some initial velocity. That means you have to throw it, but throw it only once. Okay, the application of force is applied only once. That is when the motion is starting. When it is flying, then only one force should act on it, and that is the gravitational force. Alright, no other force should be acting. So if only gravitational force is present on it and it is doing motion of the gravitational force, then it is a projectile. But if other forces are present, then it does not remain a projectile. Okay, so if you are kicking a football, that is a projectile. Yes, nearly it will be a projectile. Now you will say that, sir, air is acting on the football and it is resisting the motion of football. But still you can approximate the motion of football to be a projectile. Okay, javelin throw. When a javelin is thrown, after it is being thrown, what is it? It is a projectile. Yes, definitely it is a projectile because it is not using the drag of air for its motion. Okay, so now tell me, is aeroplane a projectile? No, aeroplane is again not a projectile because once it has taken off, then also it is gliding in the air. It is using the air to remain suspended. Okay, so aeroplane is again not a projectile. A rocket, BrahMos missile, is that a projectile? No, it is again not a projectile because once it is shot, it is thrown away. Then again it is using its propulsion. It is throwing the air in backward direction. The air or the burning fuel is throwing it in forward direction, so it is moving. So it is constantly using the force of the engine. So that is not a projectile. Okay, if I simply drop something from my hand and it falls down, is that a projectile? Yes, it will be. It will be a projectile. Okay, so coming to this, what is a projectile? Any object which is thrown into the air and which remains in flight after some time, after being thrown, then that is a projectile. What is some special things about the projectile motion? Air resistance has to be totally removed. Okay, air has to be removed when the projectile motion is taking place. Do not think that there is any air in the atmosphere. Do you know that we have a celestial body which does not have any air? Moon does not have any atmosphere. Okay, so if suppose I am throwing an object right into the air with my hand on the surface of earth, and suppose Neil Armstrong is throwing a stone on the surface of the moon, which of these two stones will be a perfect projectile motion? See, earth, you cannot take away the air from it, so there will be some presence of air. So exactly that cannot be 100% projectile motion. But on moon, there is no atmosphere, there is no air. So if Neil Armstrong is throwing the stone on the moon, there is no air present, but gravitational force of the moon is present. Okay, but the gravitational force is allowed. So that will be 100% projectile motion. Okay. Now see, now coming to our topic, what different kind of projectile motions are there? How many projectile motions will be there? See, one very simple. Take for example this very first diagram. Okay, this number 1 diagram. You are standing on the edge of something. It could be the top of a building. Okay, you are standing from there, and from there you are throwing something in perfectly horizontal direction. Means you are throwing it horizontally. But due to gravitational force, what will happen? That object will be falling on the earth like this. It will travel like this. So is this a projectile motion? Yes, it is a projectile motion. This is the first type of projectile motion that we are going to study. Then number 2, you are standing on the ground and you are throwing something in oblique direction upwards. Okay, now how the path of that projectile will be? It will first go up and then it will come down. It will follow a curved path. That is also a kind of projectile. Okay, in number 3, suppose you are standing on the wedge. What is a wedge? This triangle portion, no, it is known as a wedge. Remember this because this will be coming in 4 numericals also. So this is a wedge. You are standing on the corner of the wedge and from there you are throwing something. How it will move? It will move like this and then it will drop on the surface. That is also a projectile. Okay, now you are standing on the wedge but not at this place but over here and you are throwing something. Now that is again going to follow a curved path and fall down again. That will be also a projectile. Okay, standing on the height of a tower and throwing something upwards. This is one projectile. Throwing something downwards. This is also a projectile. And there are many different projectile motions. But what we are going to do, we are going to analyze only 2 projectile motions. Number 1 and this one, number 2. Okay, today we will study the mathematics of projectile motion number 1. All right. Okay, so this is the beginning. There are some few important points also which you may have to remember whenever you are solving anything on projectile motion. See, now in the diagram there is a certain height h. This is the height h. Okay, you are present at here and you are throwing a body, giving it only horizontal velocity. That means you are throwing this body in horizontal direction. Okay, how will the projectile actually move? Because of the influence of gravitational force. Where is the gravitational force or gravitational acceleration acting? It is acting in downward direction. So because of this, the projectile is actually going to go like this. Okay, all right. Now something important. What is u? U means initial velocity and what is v? V is final velocity and what is a? A is acceleration. Now just note this thing. Initially, that means when the time the projectile is thrown, what was the velocity? The entire velocity was given in x direction. So what will be the velocity in x direction? It will be equal to u. Because you are throwing it with the entire velocity u. The total velocity goes to x direction. Now, what was the initial velocity in y direction? See, this is y axis and this is your x axis. Okay, were you giving any speed in y direction? No. So what was the initial velocity in y direction? It was 0. Okay, is there any resistance or any force or any acceleration which is moving the particle or stopping the particle in x direction? No. Air resistance, as I said, we have already neglected. So is there any force in x direction? No. So will there be any acceleration in x direction? No. So what is the acceleration in x direction? Take it as 0. Okay, now is there an acceleration in y direction? Yes, there is. If the object moves up, the gravitational acceleration will be downwards, and if the object moves downwards, the gravitational force will be again in the downward direction only. Okay, so sometimes the gravitational acceleration will increase the speed, sometimes it will decrease the speed, so we have to take acceleration in y direction as plus or minus g. If it is increasing the speed, take it as plus g. If it is decreasing the speed, take it as minus g. And one more important point. Clear? See, the x motion and the y motion of this projectile are not related. Why they are not related? Because now this thing needs an explanation that why x motion and y motion are not related. Because you have learned vector quantities, I can explain this. Suppose here I have y axis and this is x axis. Okay, I have a vector along x-axis, say this vector is v, and I want to resolve this vector in x and y directions. I want to resolve this vector in x and y directions. Now, this is vector v. If I resolve it in x direction, it will be v cos theta, and if I resolve it in y direction, it will be v sin theta. What is theta? Theta is equals to 90. See, theta is equals to 90. So what will be the value of v sin 90? It is equals to 0. What does this mean? That a quantity which is in x direction have no component in y direction. The opposite is also true. A component or a physical quantity which is in y direction does not have any component in x direction. Clear? So, x and y axis, because they are perpendicular to each other, they are not at all related to each other. Okay, the first thing about this, time of flight, we are calculating the time of flight, for how much time the projectile remains in the air. Okay, time of flight. Now just think about it, whether the time of flight depends on y motion or does it depend upon x motion. X motion, there is no acceleration, there is no retardation. That means if the x motion of projectile was to take place, it would have been taken place till infinity. Okay, ये मोशन x एक्सिस वाला प्रोजेक्टाइल का चलता ही रहता उसी कांस्टेंट वेलोसिटी से, क्योंकि उसे रोकने वाला कोई नहीं है, उसे बढ़ाने वाला भी कोई नहीं है, राइट? सो x मोशन does not finish the time of flight. It is y motion which finishes the time of flight of the projectile. How? The moment projectile falls on the ground, its time of flight is over. So which motion will decide the time of flight? It is a y motion which decides. Okay. Now this simple equation, s is equals to ut plus half at square. I am rewriting this equation for the motion of x direction. Okay. Sy, distance covered in y axis, initial velocity in y axis, acceleration along y axis. Now what is the distance covered along y axis? What is the distance covered by the projectile in y direction? It is equal to the height of projectile. Okay. What is the initial velocity in y direction? It is 0. And what is the acceleration in y direction? If the gravity accelerates the particle, it will be plus g. If it is retarding the particle, then it will be minus g. What is happening here? It is increasing the speed always. So in that case, g will have a plus sign. Okay. Very simple. Now you can see, just transposing 2 on this side and g on this side, what you get is t square is equals to 2h by g. What is t? T is the total time of flight. That means the time starting from when you have thrown the projectile to the time when the projectile touches the ground. So t square is equals to 2h by g. Obviously, what is the value of t? Take the square root of both the sides. So t is equals to square root of 2h upon g. Okay. Time of flight is the square root of 2h upon g. Okay. Now see, if I want to increase or if I want to decrease the time of projectile, I want that projectile should remain in the air for more time. Then you can see, for increasing the time, can you change the value of 2? No, you cannot do that. Can you change the value of g, gravitational acceleration? No, again you cannot do that. The only thing you can do is you can increase the height. If you increase the height by 4 times, then the time of flight becomes twice. If you increase the height by 9 times, then the time of flight will become 3 times greater. Okay, this was the first derivation, the time of flight of a projectile. Now coming to range. What is a range? See, range of projectile is defined as the distance covered along x-axis, the maximum distance covered along the x-axis. So what kind of motion is taking place on x-axis? It is uniform motion or accelerated motion? It is uniform motion, right? And for uniform motion, what formula we have? Speed is equals to distance upon time. What's that? Speed is equals to distance upon time. So what is the distance covered along x-axis? It is equals to range of projectile, it is equals to the range of projectile r divided by the total time, that is t. Okay, so what is R? R is equals to speed into time. Now what is the speed given in the projectile for x-axis? It is u, and just multiply it with time. So what is the range of this projectile? U2h by g. Okay, now what conclusions you can find from this? Now if suppose I want to increase the range of projectile, I am throwing the projectile and it is dropping at a very small distance. I want to make the projectile fly to a very long range. So what I am going to do? Either I can increase the height of the tower from where I am throwing it, or I can increase the speed. If I throw the projectile with a greater speed, you can see. If I throw the projectile with a greater speed, what will happen? The range of projectile will also increase. So this is the very small derivation for the range of projectile. Okay. Now see, when the projectile is flying, I want to know that what will be the speed of projectile at any time. At any time means when you are throwing the projectile, you already know what are the speeds. What is the speed in x direction? U. What is the speed in y direction? It's 0. But if suppose the projectile remains in sky for 5 seconds, and if someone asks you that what will be the speed after 2 seconds, oh my god, then how to answer this question? You have to find the velocity in x direction and the velocity in y direction after some time. Okay, right? Or let me explain this, that what I am asking for. See, this is the projectile motion. From here you are throwing the projectile goes like this, and then someone asks you that please tell me what was the velocity of this projectile when the projectile was at this point. Okay, how will you tell the velocity at this point? For any curved line, the velocity of the moving object is given by tangent. So this is the velocity of the projectile. Okay, but its x motion and y motion are independent of each other. So it is going to have some velocity in x direction which will be horizontal, and some velocity in y direction which will be vertical. So if I tell you what is Vx, if I tell you what is Vy, you just add them up and you will be able to calculate what is the total velocity of that particle. And plus, you also have to tell the direction of that velocity, because velocity is what? It is a vector quantity. So you have to tell both the things. You have to tell the magnitude as well as you have to tell the direction. Getting it? So this angle I am going to tell you what it is. Okay, now let us start with this. Velocity of projectile at any time. Is the velocity in x direction going to change anyhow? No. So velocity at any time for x-axis, it is same as the velocity that was initial. And what was that initial velocity? That was equals to u. Why there is the velocity remaining same? Because there is no acceleration. If acceleration is not there, the velocity remains same. Okay, अगर acceleration होता है ना, तो या तो स्पीड बढ़ती है या स्पीड कम होती है. बट अगर एक्सेलरेशन ही नहीं है तो क्या होगा? वेलोसिटी रिमेन्स सेम एज इट वाज बिफोर. Okay, now see another equation for the y velocity. I'm using a simple equation. V is equals to u plus at. Which one? V is equals to u plus at. So I have rewritten that equation for y axis. V is equals to u plus at. Okay, Vy is equals to uy plus gt. G is gravitational acceleration along y axis. Okay, what is the value of uy? Tell me. I'm giving you 5 seconds to think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you think that uy was equals to 0, you are right. So what is Vy now? Vy is equals to gt. Okay, now you have got the values of Vx, you have got the values of Vy, and they are vector quantities, so add them like vector addition. A square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta. So this is Vx square plus Vy square plus 2 Vx Vy cos theta. What is theta? What is the angle between Vx and Vy? 90. What is the value of cos 90? Cos 90 is 0. Okay, now just put the value of Vx. What is the value of Vx? Equals to u. What is the value of Vy? Vy equals to gt. So the square becomes g square t square. This is the magnitude of velocity, and now the direction. Okay, how do I find the direction? Let me tell you how do I find the direction. See, this is the velocity of projectile. This is Vx, and this will be Vy. Okay, now I'm shifting this Vy. Can I write it over here? This is also Vy. This is angle theta. Okay, this is Vy, that is Vx. Okay, now what is tan theta? Opposite side upon adjacent side. Okay, perpendicular upon base. So what is the perpendicular? Vy. What is the base? Vx. What is Vy? Gt. What is this? Equals to u. So tan theta equals to Gt by u, or you may write theta equals to tan inverse of Gt by u, like this. All right.